the City of Troy, I'm Deputy Director of Public Information, Frank Sainato. This is TroyTalk Today. Today, we'll take you behind the scenes with Javi Najera to show you a bit more about the Clean Streets program and how we used ARPA funding to provide every resident with a high-quality, city-issued barrel. Later, we'll check in with Beverly Hickman of the Solid Waste Advisory Board to see how this program is already resulting in cleaner streets and neighborhoods. Let's talk. Javi, what can you tell us about the Clean Streets program, background-wise?
Background-wise, well, the City of Troy implemented this system so that we have an equal base across the city for everyone who lacked black trash barrels. Before, it was only about an 18% of the City of Troy who had them, and that was because of the equipment. Well, we've since upgraded our equipment. Thanks to the ARPA funding, we've been able to afford getting barrels for everybody without having that cost filter down to the common resident.
Yeah, and there are many people who are getting a barrel for the first time. This must have been a huge thing to coordinate. How do you go about getting 13,000 barrels to the city residents?
It was logistically, it was very interesting. It wasn't as easy as let's just deliver to everyone. There was a lot of small things that we had to take in consideration. A lot of our residents have private service. A lot of our resident locations are also charitable locations. They're offices and such that don't actually have a listing with our billing system, as it were. But we still wanted to make sure everybody received what they needed to receive. So we did a good rollout, and it took us a minute to really get all the information together. As with anything, there's variables that we cannot account for. We tried to take that type of situation, the unknown variable, and try to filter it in. We did what I feel is a successful job, and we've been really trying to keep on top of that, keep that ball rolling.
It sounds like these new high-quality barrels are a good shield against rodents.
It's what they're replacing. Because of the way they're constructed, where everything's one unit instead of multiple units, as in the container plus the lid, which is a separate piece in most personally owned containers, these units come in a single molded piece. And as such, the tops don't get lost. People don't overfill them. And these are the issues that were actually attracting vermin to begin with. The fact that there were small containers that were being overfilled, that didn't have proper lids, and ultimately people would have to put their bags on the floor, which, aside from creating a health hazard, it's also an eyesore for people who live in the area. And all that is things that we're trying to remove with these bins. And we've had really good success stories with them as far as keeping the streets cleaner than they originally were.
What's next for the Clean Streets program? You said that we're nearing the end of the rollout phase. Are there other phases that we're going to be looking at?
The next phase is just the implementation of the things around the barrels, making sure that people are actually using them effectively, incorporating more of the recycling information. If you notice, the difference between our old barrels and our new barrels is that the new barrels, aside from being coated, also have directions on top as to things that you can recycle, things that you can put into an organic compost. We're trying to inform people.
Well, Javi, thanks for joining us today.
That was my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me down.
Thanks again to Javi Najera for speaking with us about the rollout of the program. To get a better sense of how this program is working in practice, I checked in with a member of the Solid Waste Advisory Board, which works to create cleaner communities while decreasing landfill costs to the city, saving taxpayer dollars. I'm here with Beverly Hickman of the Solid Waste Advisory Board, also known as SWAB. Beverly, thank you so much for taking me out of the neighborhood.
Oh, you're so welcome, Frank. Thank you. I really feel honored, and I'm really proud of the great work that SWAB is doing.
Well, tell us about the impact of the barrels. How have the barrels changed the community here?
Well, so many ways. As far as like litter, it improved it 100%. Before we have so much litter to where crows would feast on our garbage that was blown around in the wind. The garbage cans didn't have lids on it. There was a lot of rodent infestation. And it was just an eyesore.
What are neighbors saying about this?
Now they love it. They love it. They feel like it looks cleaner. They give them pride, from the homeowners to our rental people. They love it.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's no longer out on the curb and leaving out their day's end.
Yeah.
And I also see, which is the cool thing, is follow suit. So when they see one neighbor come out and they see the result, how their property looks, the other neighbor follows suit. And so as time went on, it built on and built on. And as you can see, this whole block is beautiful.
Yeah, a nice domino effect.
Yes, exactly.
Beverly, thank you so much for taking us here and showing us around.
Oh, you're so welcome. Really, thank you, Frank. Thank you for having a heart for the community. And thank you for not forgetting Hillside North. Thank you.
Love Hillside North. Thanks for joining us as we spoke with Javi Najera about the City of Troy's Clean Streets program and Beverly Hickman in Troy's North Central neighborhood. To learn more about the Clean Streets program, head to troyny.gov/cleanstreets. I'm Frank Sainato. Talk soon.